Hey, welcome to Barz, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with some alternative perspective. I am your co-host, Big O, and I have with me today.
Hey, Jay Tanae is back in the building one more time with our guest today, who's a true icon, an MC with confidence. She's got wit, she's got flavor. You want late 80s? We're going to give it up for Sweet Tea, y'all. Give it up, give it up, give it up for Sweet Tea. You know her with the classics from It's My Beat, DJ Jazzy Joyce. I got the feeling. She on Crossbars, y'all. Give it up. Give it up.
Okay. I'm trying my best. Because this is my jam. You know what I'm saying? It's my jam. But we gotta chill. Let me chill. All right. You know, we was just discussing about me listening to old school hip hop, because you know me, I just like, you know, from 87, 86 until like 95.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just like, woo. And
yeah,
certain stuff, when I hear, I'm like, you know, you got to be in the car with the windows down, with the system bumping, you know what I mean? Just have it. But I'm of an age where I can't do that, or I'm going to look crazy doing that. But I just like, when I heard the beat, I was just like,
it takes you back.
It takes me back, like me wanting to get a Jetta. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I want to get my Jetta. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna put 2 8s in the back, and I'm banging the joint with a Zeus saying, "Oh man, the detachable face." I'm like,
oh my no!
I think you just like the name Jetta. Like,
yeah. Because you know, Jazzy Jules had a Jetta. You know what I mean? And then you know we got, you know, we can afford the regular Jetta, so we got the Golf. You know, got the little Golf with the hatchback that made the system loud. Okay, I gotta do a little.
Okay. Focus. Come on.
Okay.
Back.
All right. Sweet Tea, where are you originally from?
I'm from Queens.
Okay.
Queens.
I got this all wrong. I thought you was a Brooklyn girl. I promise to God.
Well, I mean, I spent my first couple of years in Brooklyn, but by the time I was 6, I moved to Queens. So, like, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that, and definitely. But you know, I'm just telling my personal opinion. You give off, Brooklyn, you know, you give off Brooklyn vibes. I'm just being honest with you. You give me, because Brooklyn vibes of women that over the years, I'm originally from New Jersey. It was almost like, you know, if you get too bugged, I will punch you in your face. Like, that's the Brooklyn vibe.
It's in there.
Yeah. Queens young lady, my wife, she's from Queens. She always claims North Carolina, but you know, her early years were Queens. And she's like, you know, I'm calling the police on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gives me that vibe. Like, I'm going to call the police. Like,
listen, I don't have time for that. We didn't do that back then. We didn't call the police.
Yeah. So you're originally from Queens, New York. What about which part of Queens?
Southside Queens.
Southside. Oh, okay, all right. I didn't even realize they polished you up just nice, because you know you didn't give off you gave a little rough edges early off, because you know me looking at you early in the days, you know, like, I'm just being real. You was the first fine chocolate girl that they put on rap. You know, you had some brown ones in it. They was cool. You know, and I want to make sure I'm saying this the most respectful as I can.
Oh,
a lot of times, you know, where I seen like Roxanne Shante, beautiful young lady, but I looked at you like you were like almost a sex symbol without trying to be. But a lot of times they had, you know, they put the high yellow girl out there, and it was like, all right. So, you know, I've been, you know, Team Chocolate forever, and it was just like, yo, because I like the girl in my school who looked like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, her name Tanya Lucky. I'll shout out to Tanya Lucky. We used to call her Sweet Tea 2-star. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tanya. But
all right,
you know, it was always about Sweet Tea and everything. So now your journey, you're in Queens, New York, and now who are you meeting up with earlier on, and how did you start falling in love or having this talent of rapping?
Well, like my father, he's a singer. Like my father, God rest his soul, can sing. But I knew if I didn't have that like singing talent, like I gotta hold a note, but you know, I knew I couldn't sing, right? And so, you know, I never knew where I could fit in musically, but there was this girl named Double G and I met her in the park, and she said, you know, we started talking. You know, you meet a new friend, and she's like,
Right.
I rhyme. She said,
Mm.
you could rhyme too. You could rhyme. And I was like, okay. So I listened to her rhyme. And then you know, of course, you know, it got late. Everybody got to go home for your mother come trip it
Street
out.
lights on.
Street
Yeah.
lights on. I
Yeah.
got you. Got
So
the street
street
lights.
lights came on,
Yeah.
right? So
Got
um so the next day I saw her and she wrote a rhyme for me. And I'll never forget because it was on red ink on the paper, and she wrote this rhyme for me. And I went home and I started saying it, rhyming it, and I was like, "Oh, this is dope." And so I did that, and then I looked and I was like, "Well, I can write rhymes like that," you know. And so my father used to always play music, like the music played all day, all night, like the albums
Mhm.
kept playing over and over. Even if we left the house and came back, then like the music always played. So I just started taking some of the beats, some of the records, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Mhm.
any one of them records that had like the space where it was instrumental, and I
yes.
would just
Yeah.
start rhyming to it, you know.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mr. Magic was my favorite because you know I had that long beginning to it. And then
Mhm.
Always.
yeah, yeah. And so, you know,
Okay.
so it started off there. And then of course, you know, at that time you just had to make your debut at the park. You know, you go outside and you hear that music playing and you like, where is it at? Which direction? And you knew that like there was some sort of jam getting ready to happen outside. And so
Right.
you had to get together, you had to put your shirt on, get everything together, and get over to the park and get on the mic, you know? So
Yeah.
so
During that time, did they just allow you on the mic? Because a lot of times it was real chauvinist. They wouldn't allow a girl on the mic unless you know she was with a crew.
I don't know, like I didn't experience that.
Okay.
And
Right.
I don't know if Queens was that way in
Okay.
general
Mhm.
because I never had an issue, you know, because once you get like a little I'm gonna say like hood fame,
Okay. Notoriety. I got you.
know, and
Yeah.
you show up, you know,
Yeah.
I never had to fight to get a turn on the mic, you know.
Okay.
And
Hard.
so it was always like, yo, here come we got a girl. So it
Oh
was
yeah.
like they were
Yeah,
more
because
cool,
it was
more like
different.
there's a girl, we
Right.
got some girls, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
was
Right.
always fine. You was always fine.
Girls
Yeah.
bring dudes, bring more dudes.
That's
Yeah.
You
right.
Yeah.
know,
That's
do
right.
all of
That's
that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
then
No
you
Right.
doubt.
come here, fly and everything, you get on the mic. And then once they know and the word is out, like, all right, she could really rhyme. She's not getting on the mic and looking crazy or sounding crazy. You know, it
Yeah.
was kind of like expected when I came to the park.
Yeah.
So what first drew you to hip hop? Like back then it was new. Like what first drew you to hip hop?
I mean, really, that was it. We
That
were
was it.
making it up at that point. It was just
Gotcha.
it was just it was starting to be a thing. And once I realized I had a place to like express myself to music, you know, because like I said, not
Yeah.
Whitney. Um,
Mhm.
that turned into my form of expression. So, you know, then, you know, at school, you had to be ready. You had to be ready for a lunch period. You know, you had to be ready
Mhm.
because somebody's gonna be hitting beats on the table. You gotta
Facts.
say a rhyme. And
Yeah.
you cannot have the same rhyme the next time.
My
So
mistake.
you had
No,
to
gotta
write
be
something.
fresh,
Yeah,
right?
you had to write something fresh, fresh 16. You know what I mean? And be ready.
Hmm.
So
Now, yes, absolutely. And I'm listening to you, and it's like you like not even knowing me writing parts of my childhood.
yeah,
Like just being honest. I'm listening like, yeah, I was the one that
Yeah.
had the one rhyme, didn't realize had to write. And then when I was trying to write, Jay know this part. I try to go home and I was like, because I was kind of had a nice cadence and
mhm,
a voice per se. And I was like, I'm gonna sit down and rhyme. And then I heard a song from Karis One called You Must Learn.
mhm.
And I was listening to what he was saying. I was like, and I just like dropped my pen and I was like, I can't do that. Like
You
I was like,
learned.
I can't. Like this
You
man broke
learned.
down the Bible.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah,
I,
he does.
I can't do that. Oh no. And I went straight to beatboxing. I still, I still can do a little something, but I'm like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
do that. That's like
Yeah.
he just ruined everything that I thought I could be this superstar rapper. Now, I'm gonna just tell you, being honest, when you talk about the music and everything, I still got vinyl in my living room, and I got the Earth,
Me
Wind, and
too.
Fire, Stevie Wonder album cover,
Hey,
all of that. Absolutely. I even have,
You do too.
Look, Take Six, all them cats, right? Listening to it. So now you musically inclined because your family's put you around music. And so now you're like, okay, I can't hold a note, but this stuff over here, I'm gravitated to. And wait a minute, I could do this. So now you got a rhyme. Now you have hood notoriety. So now,
I mean, we didn't have, you know, this was at the almost at the beginning.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like you had a KRS-One to listen to and be like, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, no.
Right,
Wait, now watch this.
right,
But you
right.
had what you got? Funky 4 plus one more.
I mean, if you got a
Like
hold of
for
a tape,
females.
if
Yeah.
you got a hold of a tape, where did you hear them from?
Right.
Like I
Oh,
couldn't go to the
right.
parties. I couldn't leave Queens. Don't get it twisted. I couldn't leave Queens and be uptown in a party to
Right.
hear them. So if somebody didn't share some sort of like little tape and stuff.
Dang.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They
People
I
don't
didn't
even
hear them that
know.
much. There was a couple
Yo.
of records now. There was a couple of records, you're right. But it wasn't like, you know, what you hear
now.
Yeah, no social media, no phones,
No,
no
no,
videos, no none of that.
None of that.
Yeah.
But
a little video, but not really.
But you're looking at the pause tape king.
Okay.
You know, when we pause tapes were the thing where I would, run to the radio, Mr. Magic, hit pause, and then unpause. Yeah, I was the pause tape king. You know what I mean? So my pause tape was nice. But you're absolutely right. It wasn't readily available. Rap music was only played on Friday and Saturdays after 8 p.m. and before, 1 o'clock, unless you went to WHBI, awesome too. And we, oh my God, I fanned out with them too. So that's why I'm like, I really don't understand. You kind of raised me. Like, I'm dead serious.
You did.
I was there at the beginning.
Yeah.
WHBI, all that.
In the 80s though, because I'm talking about the 70s.
Oh God, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the 70s. You know what I'm saying? The ends of the 70s. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So it was just like you were really just getting some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then my first record was with Davey DMX. So One for the Treble. So I was out. I was a Davey DMX girl. So I was out on the road with him, and that's when Andre Harrell was in a rap group.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde, like all, so I was going on the road like when you had to get in the car and get there.
Facts.
We were driving all over the country,
The crates in the back. I got you.
We was getting there. We were getting there.
So go ahead. But for me, when I'm listening to now you're saying this, I didn't even put it together. Because I'm like, wait a minute, no, I know 88, look, 88, 87. No, I know your stuff. It was like, no. That's when the record was out. When I was getting my start, it was 70. I'm like, God, you got a point.
I had
because you don't think about it.
I had to gravitate from different things, and like what I was imitating was singers like Luther Vandross. What's that song? Oh my love. What's that?
Never Too Much.
Was Never Too Much. So I was making a rhyme off his little singing riffs. You know what I mean? So I was imitating. I was imitating songs and taking singers' riffs and making rhymes off of those. You know what I mean?
Right. But you realize that's what so many.
I love that.
Think about it. What's my man? Slick Rick. It's all because they used to. Yeah, because that's what they used to put in the songs that made them like so catchy. Was putting in the song lyrics within their rhymes. And now
that's what we had.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
Oh, that's so dope. I love that.
And so now listening to you, I'm like, okay, goodness. But I can say that I was making them pause tapes, and you're right. It wasn't until people got a hold of certain tapes, and I would pause tape it and then circulate it because I think I had the big radio that you could have double ones, the radio boom box. I put the double one, and I was making little pause tape. I wish I would have knew about business because I would have just sold them, but I was giving them away to people. I was like, goodness gracious! But
he was getting your hustle started. Yes,
but let's move on to now. You're in school, and so now tell me, like, I know people in the lunchroom and things of that nature getting your rhyme on, but what was your direction? Like, you knew, all right, because at that time people thought that rap was going to be a fad. They didn't know it was going to last now 50 plus years, and it was going to be a fad. So what was your direction as far as your future as being in school? Was it saying that I'm going to school, I'm going to college? Or what, mom and dad, I'm gonna just go on the road and see how long or how far this rap thing is going to take me. So tell us your mind state of what direction you were going at that time period.
Well, when I talked with Pudgy the Fat Bastard, me and him work together and do a lot of stuff together. He said, Toy, that was work you was doing all of that time. But it was like, it was fun. I wasn't looking at it like, because when I was first doing it, there wasn't the thought of it's going to be on records. It wasn't, that wasn't there yet when I started. So, it was like, out of fun until I met Davey DMX. And when I met Davey DMX, I was like, okay. And then I started seeing we were on show stages. I mean, we were on tour stages doing a lot of shows. And, I was like, wow, this could be something. Because when I first left school, I was leaving for the Army.
What?
Oh.
Sweet Tea was going to be in the Army.
Was your dad or was your family members in the Army? Like, how did you get Army?
Well, my father was a police officer. And so I signed up for the police force, but I wasn't old enough to carry a gun then. So I passed up to school, but then I was on some, like, we got to wait. So I was like, all right, so I'm leaving for the Army. And so I kind of didn't sleep those like couple of days before I went to leave. And then by the time I got to swear in, because I was on to swear in, I didn't have any voice. And they were like, you can't go. You can't go. We're gonna have to send you home. And when you get better and you get cleared, you can get back. Yes. And so it only took them a couple of weeks for me to meet Davey D and all these other things started happening. And I was like, well, you blew it. Y'all could have had me. You blew it. Right.
Man, you're saying all of this and I'm thinking about it, and people now just take it for granted that where the music comes from. Oh, it's on the radio. Oh, I can just grab a CD or I can just go online and get it. But you guys really are like roots. You know what I mean?
Got it from the mud.
Yeah, like really roots. You made something out of nothing that is now here. So I just and I know that, but it's like when you're saying it, when it's playing them back to me, I'm getting more of like a, that's like the recipe. You got the secret recipe, the ingredients, and, before it all started. And my question is just from all of that, like, how do you get your confidence up when there's not a lot of females in, there's not a lot of, rap on the radio or things like that? How do you get your confidence up? You don't have likes, you don't have followers. How did you do that, during that time?
I think like my local, being in the hood and getting on the mic at the parks built up like a confidence because it was like there was an audience there, So I think some of that helped me, get past some of that part. And then when I went on the road with Davey D, it was like I was a Davey DMX girl, so I had my little pieces we had to do, and I don't know, it seemed like I was kind of inched in. Now, as far as being a female, I'm going to say that I was blessed.
Yeah.
Really blessed.
Yeah. I try to be a groupie.
Yeah. I was blessed because when Davey DMX took me out on the road, and this is priceless, I will never I wouldn't change it for the world. At the time I was kicking and screaming, because he was like, you belong in your hotel room after the show. You belong in your room. And I'm like, what are you talking about? DMC is saying there's a party at the room. He said, yeah, there's a party at the room. You belong in your room. And even if because it was another girl, Iani. It was me and Iani. And even if we stepped out to get like a soda or something, it seems like either Dave or somebody would come out of nowhere. Like, where are you going? I want to get a soda. Okay, I'm walking there. So because I was young, like I would have been at the party. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But he know the truth. He knew what was going on at the party. So at least I think Monifa might have said that in one of our things. Like, I had a good people around me. I was young, but the guys that was around me was like, nah, you ain't go. So she didn't get that whole, what a lot of people are experiencing now, like the drugs and the stuff that happened and all this stuff coming out. So And
so with that as well, once I ended up getting with Herbie, I ended up being with Herbie Lovebug was my manager and producer. So he also had Salt and Pepper Kit and Play, Dana Dane, me. So we were under Idol
Yes.
Makers. There was, I was underneath or with the biggest girl group out.
Yes.
Correct.
So everything was girl friendly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't catch that. I was the only girl in the group, and so I had to fight my way to get stuff. I just didn't. That's not my story.
Okay.
And people ask me about that struggle. I'm like, I'm not gonna say I had that struggle when I did.
You ain't have you. Yeah. That's good.
So my question, I didn't know this until you just stated that. Were you with Uptown Records?
No, I was on Profile Records.
Profile.
Okay.
And then JMJ.
And then JMJ. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we were just listening and speaking, and like I've been doing. Well, I was in Rutgers Radio for a moment and podcasting now, but I have an ear for certain songs and things for some time, and I'm like, oh, that beat is from that beat. That's from. So when I listened, I said, I don't know, but that's a Herbie Lovebug because that's a Salt and Pepper beat. So when I heard the beginning of it, I was like, that's a Salt and Pepper beat. So when you just said that, I was like, oh, that makes sense because Herbie Lovebug was a producer. So he might have had different tracks and might have had a similar track. But can you tell me, like during that time period, if you're with Uptown, which is Heavy D and the Boys, Salt and Pepper, who else?
Profile,
Kid and Play.
I was on Profile.
Yeah, you was on Profile. Excuse me.
I was with Run DMC, Dana Dane, Special Ed, King Son Demo Ed.
Gotcha.
Rob Ace.
And you were saying that your producer was Herbie.
King Son, Into Deep.
Yeah. So your producer was Herbie Lovebug.
Right. My producer and manager. So my management camp was called Idol Makers. And that had Kid and Play, Dana Dane.
Over there. Got you.
So that was the management. Like Russell managed.
And managed.
But they were on Def Jam.
Correct. Yeah. Russell managed Run DMC, but he was on Def Jam. Absolutely. Got
Even
you.
though Def Jam belonged to him too.
All right. So now when I'm asking you during that time period, because I didn't know of it, I haven't heard anything, but did you find it difficult not to have like rap beefs with other females? Because the ones that came before you, like during that time period, seems like Roxanne came in on a diss battle and then she was going at people. Then Antoinette came in, she was going at people. And some people don't know, like you're right before Queen Latifah and right around the time of like in the beginning of MC Lyte, like you precede them. So was it easy or difficult, from your perspective of like, oh, she said something, all right, cool, I can diss her to get more notoriety? Or you be like, look, I'm gonna stay in my lane and do my own thing and my talent gonna speak for itself?
Well, I mean, that's where I was just doing my thing. Herbie, his main focus the whole time is like, because a lot of what you were talking about was like some New York based type whatever going on. He wasn't very interested in New York at all. He was like, we're because even if when I came to him with rhymes or beat ideas and stuff like that, he was like, listen, I'm trying to entertain the world, not New York. So so we missed all of that. We were So I wasn't. I'm not a confrontational person, and that's not the kind of thing that I would have wanted to see myself doing, or that I would have been proud of myself doing.
Absolutely, understand.
So it didn't bother me, to not be a part of something like that.
Okay, because I didn't realize until maybe 4 or 5 years prior, like when they were doing the verses, that when they interviewed Run from Run DMC, and he said, well, KRS-One took a shot at you guys and you never said anything about KRS-One. And his response was, he was like, at that time we were in stadiums. Why am I going to go back and forth and shed light on him where he's trying to get where we are? And that's where I was like,
yes.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so he kind of said it in a nice way, like, the wolf always howls at the moon. It's a problem if the moon howls back. And I was like, okay, I got you. So that's kind of cool. So now you are on tour. You are this woman during the time of NWA coming out, and we all looking at your MTV raps, and we trying to learn the dance moves. Yes, after school, we put on your joint, we learn the dance move. So Sweet Tea looked like in your video, it looked like you were emulating us, emulating you. You know, after school in your living room, and you looking at your favorite rapper, and you try to do the moves, and you know, Big Daddy Kane, Scoop and Scrap, because we even knew the dancers' names because the dance moves were so incorporated with the music. And so now during this time period, you know, you're taking off, you're ascending. So now what keeps you grounded saying, I'm just going to do this rap thing versus saying, I'm going to do a cosmetic line. I'm going to be this, because I'm just being honest. Everybody knew you was fine because, you know, when you was on Right On magazine, you know, it was a good copy. You know, I think Biggie said it, you know, Sweet Tea and Salt and Pepper and a limousine, Heavy D in a limousine. Yeah, we remember that visual on Right On magazine having the pinups there. So now tell us about how you stay focused on just rapping and not say, I'm going into the movies. You know, I'm trying to do, you know, because at the time, I think Crush Groove was coming out. Beat Street already was happening during your ascension during that time period. Wild Style, that was towards early 80s, late 70s. So all these things are happening. Why didn't you just say, all right, I'm going to go in this direction? Or what kept you from going in that direction of acting or doing other things?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I know that my focus was making music. My focus was, you know, I think I was in the streets a little bit. And I don't know why I didn't get into acting, but what I did like to do was I like to write. So, you know, I started writing screenplays and scripts, and I started trying to shoot like movies. Like I got so much footage of like movies I was trying to finish, but when you're dealing with people in the street and you're trying to get something done and they don't see the picture you see, things start not getting done, you know. And it's funny because to this in the recent maybe 10 years, some of the people that did some of the stuff with me would call me and be like, yo, we should have finished that. I said, yeah, we should have.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should have. And I was really, really interested in writing.
Okay.
You know,
well, the good part is writing never goes out of style. So that's still, writing is still in style.
The question I want to ask is, do you ever get tired of that? Because you are an attractive woman, and I'm sure you got that, you know, throughout your career. Do you ever become uncomfortable? Is it ever too much, you know, when it comes to that part?
It could be. Like, I'm gonna tell you one situation. I was walking down the street and this guy, like, he said hi to me or whatever. And, you know, I gave him like a hi, and then he said something slick, you know what I mean? Because of the way I spoke to him. And I said, hold up. And he said, what's up? And I said, I don't like what you said. You know, I said, do you have a bad day? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, I'm having a bad day right now. And I can have a bad day. You know what I mean? Yeah, and so I had to justify myself in the street, you know? Right. And he said, you know what? I didn't even think about it like that. And he said, and you still spoke to me, you know? And he said, thank you and whatever. And, you know, I walked off. But it's like, you know, like sometimes people will expect things from you that you can't give at the moment, you know? Right. And and then they'll take that as, you know, she thinks she's all that or just whatever. And sometimes it kind of hurts. So what I do most of the time is I push past anything that's really going on just to make sure I still smile and say hi. And it's just become part of what I have to do in my life. So
now we're going to move on because you said something and I want to talk a little bit about it. So now you have the street element, because being from, let's say, the South Side, and I'm assuming Jamaica, Queens, correct? Okay. So, and during that time period, we all knew, well, we didn't all know. Some people knew up in the tri-state areas, hustlers were trying to diversify. So there were money backing some people in groups per se, because rap wasn't paying a lot. So now for me to ask, did you have, you don't have to name people names or anything like that, but you had a certain element trying to fund you, because we know that during that time period, people from Southside, that was Fat Cat and the Supreme Team, but were they trying to fund, part of your career, seeing that your ascension and trying to start a record label, or was it something else that you were dealing with someone else that was just doing anything on the side?
Well, I was once I got signed to Profile Records and moving on, like I was already set up. There was nothing to really fund. Herbie had a studio in the back. We were on the move. I was on the move. I was on a different track than that. You know what I mean? When I say in the streets, it wasn't like when I'm saying like my rap was in the streets. Like I was in the streets moving a little bit. I had like bouts where once I got off JMJ and I just didn't know what was going on with me with the music thing. Sometimes things happen and it's like, okay, so now what are you gonna do? I play pool. So I was in the street a lot. I was in a lot of spots. I was playing pool. I was like, so I just went into this whole other, I don't know whether I thought I was about to like play ESPN.
Like
I don't
professional.
But I still have people that walk up on me like, like, yeah, I'm gonna see you.
Yeah. Got you.
So I did want to ask you about that too, about that transition when music is changing and all of that. And some people are able to live it out, and some people are not. But what do you think? Like your lyrics, I didn't think your lyrics are very like sexual. What do you think your lyrics said about who you are as a person, and when you were writing? What did your lyrics say about you?
I think that my lyrics were more of my experience, or how I saw the world, how I saw hip hop, how I saw things like, smooth, let's be cool, let's do this. Like, I think that's where my vibe came from. Like, I really couldn't write about things that I wasn't really doing. However, when the change came in, like, and I think all of us were kind of lost for a minute when like gangster rap came in and all those different things came in. We were all lost for a minute because we kind of caught this little shun period where it was like, oh, they old, and there was this gap in time that was not really gracious to us. I'm gonna say it that way. And but it did come back around, and we just started. I've been working ever since. Like, but that little period was like, just trying to figure out like, what do you do? So it felt like Sweet Tea, as a young girl, Sweet Tea was driving that car the whole time, and then it just started like going off the road, and then Toy had to snatch the wheel and say, yo. You know what I mean? Because there's some people that just let it, rap was just like everything, and it just let it go off the road and didn't pursue things that they maybe could have, but I couldn't do that. So I started working in drug treatment.
At where? I didn't hear you.
In drug treatment, at a drug treatment center.
Oh yeah, I've done that too. Yeah.
Are you a therapist? Do you peer support?
I'm an assistant director of a drug treatment program. So I'm in a licensed case act. So that's drug counseling. And on May 20th, I will have I'm graduating from school with my master's degree in social work.
Oh, so you got to take your clinical.
Yes.
I have a couple of.
No. I love that, because you got to know how to pivot. You got to know when to pivot. And so a lot of times, like mental health, like you were able to do that. Was there any point where it did take you a little bit left because you were in substance abuse? I'm just going to ask, did you go that way? Is that how you ended up there, or is this just something that you want to do? Okay.
So let me tell you something. It was like the decision, like, all right, let me see what I can do. Right. And so there was an agency that I knew some people that worked there, and I went and was like, before I could get home, I was hired. You know what I mean? So I started working there. it took them a minute because I never told anybody who I was until this one girl walked up to my desk and was like, I know who you are. And she said, but I'm not saying nothing. And so, they kept it cool. I was able to maneuver working like 4 days a week. So I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so I would leave there, get on the plane, go to Mike Tyson's house, get picked up in the Bentley, do all of this.
Wow, double
and then come back,
lifestyle. Wow.
and then come back on Monday, like, can I help you? You know what
Wow.
So all my jobs that job pretty much just knew who I was, let me do what I do, and I did what I did there. And my job that I have now, the company does the same exact thing. They knew who I was. When I got to go on a time during the cruise for a week, see you when you get back. They know who I am. They know what I do. I give back to them, and I've been blessed, like, with my situation.
Man,
Yeah,
that's totally different.
before
Yes.
Jalil from Houdini, but right before he passed, he went back into touring, but he was an EMT. Many people didn't know. He said, hey, I got to pay bills, I got family, got kids, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, that's New York City. EMTs get paid nice. However,
he was doing that in Atlanta. He was an EMT in Atlanta.
I thought it was in New York.
Yeah. So because I was very close with him. Like, those guys, even when they began to start going back on the road, they took me on the road with them for a year. They were like, the manager, he was just like, anytime they're getting hired, there's like, Sweet Tea's gonna open, Sweet Tea. So that I give Houdini, I love them to death. They made sure, like, in certain points of my life, that they were like, your face is gonna stay out there. We're taking you with us. And so they took us out on the road. So when he passed away, that was just like, that was so heartbreaking. I just saw him. I just did a photo, took some photos with him and talked to him, and he passed away like right after that. And it's like, I don't know, like, sometimes when people pass away and then 30 seconds later, everybody's posting the pictures up. Like, I still hold this picture. I haven't put it up yet because it just hurts. It hurts. Like when you lose in friends, And so, and I look at the picture to this day, like, you ever gonna just like put it up just to say, RIP, like, I love you, friend, I miss you, or whatever. And I can't even post it. It just hurts.
Yeah, and that's definitely understandable. And because of what they probably done for you as far as developing as a person and being there for you at some of your lowest times. So, I commend you. I'm a mental health advocate. I'm a CDAC myself. So I'm trying to get my full license. And so all these things that you're saying, and that's the beautiful part about Kross Barz, of having these conversations where I could fan out with you, and then I could tell you, hey, I have a mental health company myself. And I do this on the side as well. And, I have several, locations. So now when looking at you and saying that, being a person that says, I've overcome this, and I'm still here, I'm not here because I fell down. I'm here because I got up.
Did you ever have problems like in the industry of like relationships, and rumors and things like that? Was there ever like a rumor, about you that you was like not true, but it like bothered you, either about a person or a relationship, anything like that?
Well, no, I can't say that anything really bothered me. I'm sure there are things. I'm sure, people have said plenty of things about me that might not be nice or might not be true. I'm gonna tell you, one thing was, I was at I forgot what magazine, but it was a photo shoot, and me and Special Ed had the same publicist. Did you ever see that picture of me and Special Ed?
No, I didn't.
So this is a picture of me.
He lives in Charlotte now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's down here with me. Yeah.
So he's like, me and Special Ed are like embraced in this picture, right? So we go to go do the photo shoot, and we're just taking pictures because we got the same publicist, and they're like, a little closer. Right. Come on, y'all, get a little closer. So we taking pictures. Next thing you know, it like, we're embraced like this, and that's the picture everybody runs with, So I'm talking like to somebody. I got a girlfriend. I mean, he got a girlfriend. I got a boyfriend. Everybody's arguing over this.
Oh no!
Wow, yo,
they had to get everybody on the phone. It had to be a whole thing, because
wow.
it's fiction. So, I mean, so things can be misleading, but I'm going to tell you, I saw a lot on the road, and I don't know, I saw a lot on the road.
We gonna go.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
No.
That's why I was asking, how did you, not get? I mean, people go a lot of different ways on the road, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's relationships, whether it's, their mental health goes down and get suicidal. There's a lot of things that can happen, on the road. So what did you do to not go down there? Like, did you have any type of spirituality thing that you practiced, or what did you do to stay? Because I know you saw some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna say there was a couple of things. It was heartbreaking sometimes to see people you can't help who you like. And if you spend a lot of time on the road, there's gonna be people that you like and stuff like that. But it was kind of heartbreaking to see, maybe some of the guys kiss their wives and get on the flights, and then they're doing whatever with this person, but then that person gotta swallow it when they get off the plane and get back in the car with their wife. That was hurtful. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't want to do that one. So it kind of helped. It made me say, I don't care how much this guy is like, I can't, because I can't.
I would never do that, sweetie.
Look,
I'm rooting for me. I'm rooting for me. I'm just like, I would never do that.
So do you think that reality TV hurt hip hop in a way, like reality TV, because they show everything?
Got too much access.
Like everything.
I mean, I can't really relate to what they got going on, because that's not what we had going on. That was just some really different type of arguing and things they had going on. Like if we could have had the whole, like, our era in one film, oh man, it was just different. It was different. These girls are fighting with each other. If me, Latifah, Light, all of us were all show together, we all crunched up in a room together, excited about what's going on. Nobody's fighting.
Yeah. That's so dope.
And that's what's up. Okay, so my question is that at this time or juncture, are you considering writing a tell-all book?
No.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do, what I was thinking about, and I had a conversation with my manager, was maybe I'm gonna do some memoirs.
Okay.
Which will be, like events, things that happen, because it's entirely too much. First of all, it's too many years. So how do you write a book that's that long with decades? All those things? I mean, 3 different decades. I was in the David DMX decade, then I was in Salt and Pepper decade, then I was in What's Up Girl on Def Jam. So we were out on tour. That was a whole thing in itself right there. And so it's like, it's too much. So I was thinking maybe a memoir book.
Okay. And talk about events and show it from your perspective. Okay. And that's it.
And then maybe we could do something like that. And then
yeah.
And then
like let them know.
Biopic for you, like a biopic for you, like something about you. Would you ever do like a movie like about your life? About what you had going on?
That's happening. That's been
so who would you have play you? Who would you want to play you in your movie?
No, I don't have that. I have I'm just like, we got footage, we got interviews, we're gonna do
okay.
Yeah. But if they did, oh God, a biopic. Ooh,
who would play Sweet Tea in a movie?
You gotta be young, because I'm like, her and Nia Young, leave me along.
Like, a female MC right now that could
cast it, big. What's up? Who's gonna play me?
I would say Doechii, because she had brown skin and she could spit.
Doechii.
So Doechii is a great lyricist, and she brown skin, she pretty. You know what I mean? She a little more revealing than you were, but hopefully she can act. But I'm just saying, and I'd be a love interest. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell my wife that, baby, I was acting. It's gonna be an Oscar-winning. It was gonna be an Oscar-winning worthy. Like, I was acting, baby. But no, Doechii, I would say one.
Doechii, okay.
Other ones.
Who else?
Doechii will be one. I'm thinking about now. Another one. What's the young girl? I have no name. She's like 4'7". She wants that, because I know their songs, because a lot of times they don't have great albums. They have great singles. So I would say that. Who Who else? That's up and coming. Nah, I couldn't say anybody else.
None
Just
of the
being
ones
honest.
that I'm just in
'Cause
my
I'm just
head.
I'm just speaking of because of her demeanor, and some of the other ones because of what I've seen of their demeanor, it doesn't fit. So like somebody I really like. I listen to her music because it's the ratchetest music. It is great to work out to, but Glorilla, I love Glow. All right, Glow is the girl.
I love Glow. I love
But
Glow.
if somebody
I like
said
Glow.
Glorilla's
I
playing
like
Sweet
Glow.
Tea, we all look like, okay, that doesn't match. You know what I mean?
But do you ever want to collab with any of the new artists? Have you ever thought like collabing with some of the newer artists that's out, even a Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion or anybody like that?
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind doing that. I have a lot of music, and like soon as graduation is over, I'm coming down to North Carolina to Kevin, my manager, and I know he's the guy that you work with to get this interview going. So we could just put together this plan.
I'll be there.
The shows are starting to happen for the summer already, so that's pretty good. But I would love to do some collaboration work. But what I really think has to happen, I honestly think that some of my music has to come out so that they can see what it is that they're getting into. The idea behind Suga, that was Jam Master Jay's idea. He well, what happened was I started making records and I started using AKAs just because that's what everyone was doing. BT, Suga, whatever. So when JMJ got my tape, he said, I want to sign you, but he said, I want to call you Suga, because there was an issue with old school rappers, like moving forward. And so he thought that rebranding me and people not knowing my name knowing that it was me,
help you out.
Would help me, right?
Yeah.
So he gave it to Russell, and Russell was like, yo, I like her. I like that. Like, I want to see her. And so Russell used to be at Time Cafe in Manhattan. And he said, yo, we got to meet Russell at the Time Cafe. So I was like, all right, cool. So I got cute, whatever, came. As soon as I walked in the door, he started laughing. He was like, oh, shit. He said, that was you on the tape. And so they was like, yeah. And so he said, come here. And he opened my coat. But I know what he was doing. But he opened my coat and was like, oh, this is a nice coat. And then he was like, he told you,
yeah.
Checking out
He knew what he was doing.
Absolutely.
And so then I thought when I went on the road, I was like, okay, this is maybe going to be, come on, Jay-Z, Hove, like, this bunch of different names. So they had the picture with the Sugar on it, but then people were walking up and going, you got to sign my picture, Sweet Tea. So everybody has these pictures that say Sugar on the bottom with Sweet Tea.
Sweet Tea.
So we were like, all right. So so Jay was like, if I had to continue before like the whole deal went through with, because he moved from Def Jam. So if I had to continued on, we were going to try to figure out, all right, so how we getting ready to transition you, because that's not working. So we're gonna have to even the playing field, call you Sweet Tea, let you still play off Sugar, but we can't just turn you into Sugar. We saw that on the tour that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I think
that was already the
you were a legend, and then saying, all right, like Michael Jordan at this part, if somebody called him Air Jordan, he's not gonna dislike it. But he's an older gentleman. He don't do it. But you gotta respect it, you know what I mean? But that's how I felt. Like I'm like, I always love you and know you as Sweet Tea. Even though when I seen it, I was kind of confused. Like,
that was just supposed to be some sort of move to just push me out again.
Okay.
So that's kind of weird. And I understand why he took that.
They should have a union for like 80s rappers. Like, do they have like a union for like rappers that you can go back and be like, this is us?
Yeah. Well, we listen. We in the museum, so I'm cool with that.
Hey, that'll work. That'll work.
Never thought that was gonna happen.
That'll work. That'll work.
So now when we start looking back at some of these things, your transition from Sweet Tea, now Suge, Okay, now potential therapist, drug counselor. So now when you look at the ascension, is there any part of your life said, man, I wish I'd have took this turn or did this? Opportunities that you said, you know what, I had this opportunity and I said no. Looking back on it, I should have capitalized on that one.
There's probably a couple of turns when it came to my music career that I could have done something different. I was talking with Dougie Fresh one day, and he was like, "Toy," he was like, when the record label wasn't doing what you needed to do, you should have just changed your name and signed again to someone else that was going to help you, And I didn't realize that he was like, take the 2 E's off the end of your name, do something. He was like, Doug, he's very inspiring, and he's just like not going to let people stop him. And so when he said that to me, I was like, God, I should have did that. Because I had this one record that Profile wouldn't put out, and it really, really, really it hurts my heart a lot about this, because I went to London and I took a tape. I was, when you go to other record labels, you just take the tapes, you take everything they got.
Yeah,
right?
gotcha.
So the Soul to Soul record hadn't come out yet, and so I had this tape. I live there.
Yeah.
However do you want?
Yeah.
So I called. I made a very expensive phone call from the limousine to Herbie in the United States, and I was like, Herbie, I want to remake this record. And so when I got off the plane, I was dealing with Sharice, from Changing Faces. She was the girl on White House, me, and Khadijah and a couple of other girls. They came to the studio. They resung that whole thing that I live there. They resung the whole. They killed it. They resung the whole thing, and then I just started rhyming. Yes, it's time to kiss soul to soul. Forget see those sweet tears on the road. And I rocked the whole.
I want to hear.
All I want to know is however do you want me? And so we took it to Profile, and they told me, you can't take people's songs that they're singing on and rhyme on them. You can't take this song because the song didn't get put out yet. You cannot take people's songs and do that.
They do that all the time.
No,
at that time.
At that time, right.
Been the first one to do that. Correct. Take a song right when it was coming out.
Correct.
Not getting it out your crate and remaking it. Doing it right then and there. And they told me I couldn't do it. And so they didn't make a phone call. They didn't try to say, hey, we got this hip hop version of your record. Let's, we want to move with you. You're going to put that out. We're going to put this out. We're going to rock with this. And they wouldn't do it for me.
You didn't want to do a mixtape because that was during the time what they did with mixtapes. They would take the popular song, popular beat, and then put another rapper, somebody who's current and in the street, and put them on somebody's song. So that's Clue made a whole career out of that.
That was in
a little later.
Yeah, that was.
It was because when she's talking about the time period, you're talking about 90, 91.
No.
Soul to Soul, Back to Life. Karen Willard, Jazzy B.
Yeah, it might have been a little before that.
Okay.
Well, they're probably trying to conform to the industry because that's risky. They didn't want to be the one to make it fail, and so they didn't jump and take the risk. But still, even in doing all that, is there any moments that you feel like before Big O gets to be this and that? Were there any time moments that you felt that you were you knew you were breaking the barrier, you knew you were doing something that nobody had ever done, and do you feel you got the acknowledgement or for doing that?
I don't think anything that I was doing at the time I kind of knew I was doing first. Even when that happened, I didn't think, I'm going to be first doing it. My thumb mom was like, why won't you put this record out? You know what I'm saying? And, Red Alert played it, and I wasn't running around, I'm going to be the first one if you do it. It just... They just told me no, and I just was like, they said no, and that was but when I look back and I look at some of the things that I was first doing, if you look at it on the Smooth Tip video, Shirt Kings, I call Shirt Kings because I didn't know what I wanted to wear in that video. And then I told him, I said, listen, just put sweet across the ass of my pants. Right.
Yeah,
So
that's when all of the
And Juicy
so
made a whole thing like Juicy Couture. Yeah.
that's all after me.
yes.
That's all after me.
Wow.
So, you know, when you look
We
at
need reparations. We need reparations. Come on, T. We gonna get some reparations. Yeah, that's what we doing.
And you don't know what you start a trend, and you don't know when you're the origin of things. You don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Dang.
Jay said it. We gotta get them for the cold crush though. Now we gotta change it up. We gotta get it for sweet tea. You know, overcharging because of sweet tea. Sweet tea, I'm gonna start overcharging. That's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna start overcharging the sweet tea. Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm listening to this and I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, this is phenomenal. But you know, I'm already saying it. You know, I mean, one of your stories is going to go in short because I recommend this to everybody. I've seen people go from like just writers between a teachers group and become producers to the film festival. So there's one in So the one they did on hip hop, and then I seen it go to Eccentric, then it went to Showtime. And I was like, I seen these dudes. We was talking at the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival. This was back in 2006. Now they're having a big one again this year. I'll be attending. And I'm like, I want to see who's new because I'm just being honest. I want to just do those shorts. I think the shorts.
So you think she should?
Yeah, that's why I was like, you know,
writing.
When she already said it, I'm sitting here looking like, yo, it's great. Yo, my big sis, real talk, Sharice, right? She wrote a screenplay while she was working for the Hale House in Harlem, right? Got hit by a cab crossing the street. She was on bed rest for a month. And she actually wrote a screenplay while on bed rest, right? And she submitted it to Tribeca and won in 2005.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Do it.
So
you can do it.
Yeah, like she, no joke. So she's written several scripts and given different producers X, Y, and Z. So that's why I'm saying to you, like, oh yeah, I got to learn how to do them shorts because I've met enough people who are writers, and I'm like, hey, can we do one of them? Yeah, I gotta, because there's more than enough actors that want to act. I want to just try to put it together so it's going to be visually pleasing because I think that, you know, artists like yourself, you're multi-talented. So every artist that we've ever interviewed, if they can sing, they can write. If they can write, they can draw. If they draw, because their imagination, you know, like your dreams are in color.
Crazy.
Yeah. So now it's like you so multifaceted, but we only seen one part of your talent. So we see you as a rapper, you know, singer, maybe even / producer. But now it's like, well, I write stories, you know, fiction, fiction or nonfiction. So now it's like, let's see this vehicle and let's make sure that this artist has other ways to express themselves. That's why I think some of our great rappers, they became actors and it was so seamless. That's why one of my things was, hey, why like, yo, hit the screen because I'm telling you right now, if I was an actor, you know what I mean, I'd be like, yo, get that sweet tea girl, yeah, she gonna be my boo, and then write something steamy. Like that would have been the request right then and there. Like,
yes.
You know, so I'm gonna tell you though that just watch out for I've started turning a lot of the stories that I have into books because I said, you know what, I'm just gonna put the books out first, all of them, because like even some of my favorite like films, How to Train Your Dragon, all of those, they were books first. So I was like, okay, let's I'm gonna do that. So I've been working on that all along while I've been in school, trying to make that happen. And so by the end of the year, I'm going to like have some stuff up. So,
okay. So you do children's stuff as well with your writing?
Oh gosh. I got so many. They like, when I say writing, I'm not like my first, maybe couple of screenplays I wrote had like a street element, but yeah, I do a lot of different type of writing, like murders, like murder mysteries, like super like different. I do different types of writing. So I'm excited to see if some of those genres of writing could do something for me because I really would like that. You know,
right now. So you already know me. I'm a supporter. All right. So letting you know, I'm no longer a fan. I'm the next tier. I'm a supporter. So I'm already gonna buy them. So all right. But this part of the show, we do this thing called This or That. You know, some people like to say I bit off somebody, but remember, I started on radio in 2003. So people bit me, and then because of the stuff I did, similar to yourself, like you started it, and then they make it popular, and then they say you bit. Like, no, I'm the originator. You know, so you do this for that, and so in this for that.
Set me up with this now. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
you gotta get ready. You gotta get ready. You gotta get ready.
Because my whole thing is that it asks such a difficult question where you got to say both. You know, and then that's when I feel good. Like, yeah, I made it so difficult. He had to say both. But I want you to pick one or the other. And if you don't like either, you can say neither. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right. Some of the old school divas, they were spicy.
All right, you ready?
Like I was like, I'm trying to.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Here we go. Let's go with the easy ones. All right. Oatmeal or grits?
Grits.
Okay. Let's get a little harder. Okay. She's from Queens, right? Beef patty or pizza?
Ooh, pizza.
Okay. All right. LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Okay. Okay. I got something for you for that. Allen Iverson or Carmelo Anthony?
Never didn't pay attention to either. Like, I don't know.
Oh, neither.
Oh, we got a
neither. Oh.
No, I'm saying that they both handsome dudes. I just I never really looked at them to think like which one I could out of both of them.
Like basketball.
Cool. No problem. And make sure I'm clear. You don't have to explain anything. If you want to, you're gonna listen, but you don't have to explain. You just pick and keep it moving. Yeah, true. All right. Look, now, look, get a little more difficult. Jay-Z or Nas?
Oh. I would say this. I can't pick Nas because I'm related to his daughter. So, you know. So I can't pick Nas.
You can.
Your family wrote a book.
I read Daddy. So, you know.
Yeah. I read that book too. Because I'm a racist reader. So, like, I read that book too. All right, cool. Okay, I'll let that slide. We'll say neither or both. Okay, all right. Look. Let me go more in your era. Karis One or Rakim?
Rakim.
You know she's gonna pick Rakim. I think your flow is kind of like Rakim. On some of the songs I hear it, I be like, that sounds like Rakim.
I got you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
I love KRS One, but he make you work hard. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to throw a curveball in here. Queen Latifah or Will Smith?
What? Okay, I'm not answering that question.
You know, both actors. That's what I'm saying, and both rappers. But it's cool. You don't have that. That's neither. All right.
Listen, they're both though.
That's correct. They're both. That's what I said. Both.
Okay, both.
Yeah. I love them.
Both. Okay. All right,
we had a lot of good times back in the days. All of us.
Okay. Let's try to get in some trouble now. Let's try to get in some trouble. Cardi B or Nicki Minaj?
As far as what?
Whatever you feel. I'm not going to put any parameters
They're
on it.
both dope in their own right, so it's hard.
You can say both.
Yeah.
Both. You got both. Okay, cool. Glorilla or Lotto?
Lotto.
Okay. All right.
I like Lotto.
All right. Let's.
I like Glorilla. I like her style different, but it's just something about Lotto. I've been following Lotto a lot longer, so I have to get into more of Glorilla. But I've been following Lotto for a long time. So
no. Watch this one. I'm gonna see where she at. I'm gonna see where her head at. Okay. The Yankees or the Mets?
Yankees.
You'll get in trouble. Queens all day. All right, thank you. Take the Yankees. Absolutely, the Yankees. All right. So now get a little bit more. All right, Nikki Giovanni or Maya Angelou?
Both.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep it in genre and literature. Nah, let's do this. George Lucas, Star Wars, or Steven Spielberg?
Spielberg.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's
My word is a cult.
let's do a little awkward one. Let's do a little awkward one. Samuel L. Jackson or Lawrence Fishburne?
Samuel.
Mm-hmm. She knows what she likes. She knows what she wants.
Yeah, nice,
Can't trip
nice.
up that much.
Okay, hold up. Then I got to do this one because this one always throws me off because they're dependent, right? Spike Lee or Tyler Perry?
That's a hard one because I've been following Spike Lee for a long time. I like them both.
Okay.
For different reasons. Spike is like very eclectic and yeah.
You know, I saved some of the hard ones for last, right? Because you know, you were saying. So watch this one. Shaka Khan or Stephanie Mills?
Stephanie Mills.
Ooh. All right, there we go. This is getting interesting. The OJs, or Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Got you. All right. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Both.
Got you. All right. Janet Jackson or Whitney Houston?
Whitney.
Okay. Let me ask. Let's get an awkward one. Throw another awkward one in. All right.
I gotta say both Whitney and Janet. Each one of us a different way.
Whitney right over the bridge. Janet Michael. That's kind of hard.
That's why I said I'm throwing awkward ones at you because you know it seemed like you was hitting them regular ones out the park. So I threw like this one. You know, Luther Vandross or Marvin Gaye.
Oh God.
See, it's awkward. It's like
Marvin Gaye.
Ooh. Luther, you know you rapped over Luther. We heard what you said. Was you taking Marvin? Not a problem. Okay. Oh no. You think he's slick? I know what's going on.
Come on, what you got?
Watch this one. All right. Tremaine Hawkins and the Hawkins family, or the Clark sisters?
I don't know, but I saw the Clark sisters movie, so I like.
Okay, I was like, yeah, because when he hit the gospel, you get a little.
Let me tell you something. That's all the questions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Each one you did, if there's an experience that's attached to one of them, that would be the reason why I picked them. Not so much of
Correct.
entirety. It's just the experience.
Yeah.
Like Stephanie Mills, I went to see her in The Wiz at least 5 times as a kid. My mother was like, she just saw it. And my grandmother was like, if she wants to go again, I'll pay for it. And I saw it like 6 times. Like I was fascinated with her. So no one else can really do much to, like, you could say God. And I might
Stephanie Mills.
Because Stephanie Mills like shaped me. Young brown skin girl, she shaped me. So there's nobody that love Chaka Khan to death, but Stephanie did something for me.
Absolutely. And you know she's in North Carolina. She's from North Carolina too.
Yeah.
So when you come down here, you got to definitely try to check her out because she probably is a fan of yours as well.
Yeah.
And
so was it?
And what I was saying was that's why we always lend space. So because some people, because of those experiences, they explain right then and there. And I'd say, let you have your space because I'm like, I try to say, I don't want to mess up anybody's political connects. You know, because before I wasn't asking about Tyler and Spike because they still active and they still looking for people. So I never want to be like, you said one or whatever. I'll be like, no. You can explain what you mean and have that. But if you don't want to, and you say, y'all can leave it up for interpretation. And that's why when Jay Tanae was doing, I said, Jay, because Jay be trying to help people out. And I'm like, let them, they can say whatever you want. So
and then he get mad when you don't choose what he think you can choose.
Yeah, because
so
you know,
really
like Jordan and LeBron, I'm like, come on now. You know, LeBron got everything, but Jordan is nostalgia. You know what I mean? And then like sometimes I go into
my age frame.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
right.
Got you.
Right.
Respectfully, right? But then when I start looking at it, whereas, you know, we still see things today and we see things for back then as well. And then, you know, what's your preference? Because this is all your preference. It's not mine. You know, it's like oatmeal and grits. You know, I found that there's some people who are healthy say, oh, no, oatmeal. And I'm like, grits. And then I heard somebody say, no, grits with sugar. And I was like, you know somebody gonna want to fight you, right?
But
You know what I mean?
No
Like,
disrespect,
you,
sugar.
you
No
know,
disrespect,
there's gonna be
sugar.
people that's gonna say
Right.
something when they see this. They're like, you know that man that was there, the producer you had on, yeah, he's an idiot. Like, whoa, no, that's not our opinion. That's his alone.
Yeah.
But absolutely, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a few more questions before we get off of here. Just what is something that hip hop has taught you that like school did not? Like, what did hip hop teach you?
mm, wow, that's a hard question.
Oh,
It's hard for me to answer them. What did it teach me? Well, I mean,
yeah. What did it teach?
I don't know.
What
I
did
mean,
it teach you?
it was
Was it
like,
about yourself or just the world?
yeah,
Dudes ain't nothing. Like, okay, like, you know, like nothing. No. All right, cool.
I mean, for me, just coming up through school, it just became my existence. So, you know, it taught me consistency. It taught me
Mm-hmm.
discipline, you know, to practice, to it's important to treat people a certain way. There's so many things, you know, as a
Yeah.
growing up, you know, it taught me a lot of things that, you know, that's so the way you speak to people, your presentation is important. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, it taught me a lot. Definitely taught me a lot. I mean, in school mirrors some of those some of those same type of behaviors, especially now, you know, like tonight I have to do a video presentation, you know, record a video presentation for school.
Yeah,
So
we can
like,
send you this, and you could turn it in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This is what you
we'll
don't
help
want to
you out
do.
in school.
Yeah,
yeah,
We can help you out in school. All
oh,
absolutely.
that'd
right,
be nice.
so
That'd be nice.
I think about it in another sense, whereas something we didn't like. I want to know, do you have a family? Because you said you weren't married, but do you have children by any chance?
Mm-mm.
Okay, no children. All right. You ever think about adoption?
No.
Okay, all right. Free live out. Look, pick at
no.
them kids. I got you. Absolutely. You think like, no, I have nieces and nephews. I'm like, and also, do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Hold
do.
up,
Are they
hold
in
up.
music too, or do they?
No, they're actually none of them are in music. None of them
Mm,
are in music.
hold up. Your
My
sister's
brother, my brother does photography. My
Mm.
sister, she's a computer, like she does a lot of stuff, like a lot of these concerts and things that you get tickets for and bands for and the setup and how you go online and do all that. She does all that for a lot of the biggest music festivals that you can be on, Hair Care
Mm.
Lines, everything. Like a lot of her
Wow.
marketing and stuff. So
Okay.
one of my sisters does that.
Okay.
And my other sister works with children. So
Okay. Are they your sisters fine like you?
yeah,
I was just
Okay, we're
asking
gonna.
because I just want to know like if I bump into them and then I'm looking at them like, hold up, you know what I mean? Because I found that before, like when
they
people look
light
at
skin
me,
though. They light
they like,
skin.
oh no, I'm good.
He's
They light skinned
crazy.
it. What they used back in the day? I'm
They're
light skinned
beautiful.
it.
Yep, they're beautiful though.
They
All
beautiful,
right. So
absolutely.
I just have last question is if there were females that were coming out today, rappers, what advice would you give them about, the industry or excuse me, how to pick a manager or, what label to go to? Would it be, like a master class? What would you give them? What advice would you give them about, just being in the industry and becoming an entertainer from a female?
Well, they have a different experience than what I had, but from the outside looking in now with them like growing up as young women, I would really want to say that I would wish that everyone would watch what it is they put online,
Mm.
what they're saying, what they're doing, because this could be a stage of the life. This could be a stage for them. It could be something that they're MC until the end, but then some might have to change to do something else. And some of the things that you do online could come back to bite you.
Mm. Mm.
Like 10 years later, you want to be the president or the mayor or something, and they're pulling up stuff where we looking at your ass crack online. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
It's some of that is scary for me when I watch it because I'm like, oh my gosh.
What are you gonna do when you're 65?
or when you need, to your record to look a certain way because it's something that you're really trying to do for yourself. So I would say to just think about what it is you put online. It's it can be a little scary.
Watch your social media.
I mean,
like remember Vanessa Williams?
Mm-hmm.
She had a scandal, but at the same time, she kept it classy, and now she's a A-list actress.
Right, but it just was a whole thing, and it was just, and that was like, dang,
could have messed her up,
and it was minor too. Yes,
that
became huge.
Yeah. So I'm just using it as an example because I think people are a little more receptive to some of the stuff that people are doing in front of cameras.
Yeah,
but
it's acceptable now. It's a culture almost.
But still,
yeah,
I would say, maybe if you could just be careful a little bit with some of that stuff.
Monitor your image. Got you.
Yeah, monitor your image. Yes.
Absolutely.
That'll work. That'll work. Miss Sweet Tea, do you have anything coming up that we can look forward to? I know you got your graduation coming up. Anything that you're in that we could be looking for on social media?
Yes, just follow me, Sweet Tea the MC. As soon as I finish school, I know I haven't posted the way I should have been all of this time, but I was just too engrossed. But like everything is just gonna start coming out. Everything, music is coming.
All right.
And just movement. So just follow.
All right. Follow her. We got the ID, got the address up there, guys. Remember, at Sweet Tea the MC on Instagram. All right. So we want to thank you again so much for blessing our podcast. We look forward to everything that you have going on. Thank you again for, just coming out. Again, I'm fan too because, I never thought in my lifetime that I would be speaking with you. I thought it was always going to be, in the distance. But thank you so much for considering us for the podcast. I'm Jay Tanae. That's Big O. This is Kross Barz. And you can find us on Instagram and YouTube and all the other streaming mediums. Also, this Kross Barz is KROSSBARZ. You can find us on our website as well. We love you so much, guys. Thank you again for hanging out with us.
Bye.